Welcome back to the Garth Riley Show. Good to have you with us. Speaking on the res view portion, or the professional personal profile, talking to Amy England, who is a candidate, who says she's always a candidate, even when she's not, when there's no election.
Yeah, I just think I don't mean it when there's not an election. I just mean that
It's a behavior that
behavior that you put out there. And when I make a decision, I know that this could possibly somehow, at some point, being in the public eye, could end up in a newspaper, could end up on Facebook. And you know, I no one's perfect, and everyone makes mistakes. And I sing karaoke, and I do.
How badly?
And I'm really good.
Really?
Yeah, like funny
Really
good.
good?
Like I'm
Funny good, like you're
I'm tone
humorous?
deaf, but
Really?
like I'm humorous when I do it. And I do like Baby Got Back, and you know some
Really?
of those. Yeah, it's a really funny song.
It is a very funny song.
You know.
It was in Shrek, so it had to be funny.
Yeah. So, but like I think that's part of who I am, and I think that people
Do you
need
think
to see that.
think karaoke will get you elected?
Probably not, but everyone at karaoke probably would vote for me. Like I'm known around Durham region for my rendition of "Baby Got Back."
Really?
Yeah, it's funny. You think when you're in this situation that sometimes there's certain things that you think won't get you noticed, but doing a rendition of that, it tends to get people noticed. They're now going to be doing a karaoke night for candidates so that people can get to know them.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
Funny story? I don't know if it's funny. You have to say it's funny. So we were at I was one of the first guys to bring mobile karaoke to Southern Ontario in 1990. That was touring the bars. So I was there, and there's a couple others in Ontario, and that was it.
So you changed my life.
Well, I did actually. It was my
Yeah.
friend. And we were actually one of the companies that did Cuckoo Bananas way back in the day when
Yeah.
Lindros was there pouring beer on people's heads, or allegedly. Anyways, it was about year two of me being, I guess the second year of me being on the air at Rogers. And we had a gig at the Bulldog out in the south of Oshawa by Grandview, and there was a candidate running there, and this candidate that was running his name, okay, boy, it's gonna drive. So it's gonna drive me. It'll come to me in a second as we keep going. Anyways, there's a candidate running, and he dropped off a flyer. So we phoned up this candidate, and he's since passed away. We phoned him up, and we said, listen, you dropped off a flyer here, so come on down.
Yeah.
It's like 10 o'clock at night, and he says, okay. So now I queue up the whole bar, which has about 120 people there, because that was my background was entertainment. And I said, when he walks in, everybody say hi to him. So actually, he shows up, and everybody says hi to him. The next thing you know, we have him up singing.
Yeah.
Well, within 3 weeks, that was the year that Mayor Gray was running for his first candidate for mayor. And within 3 weeks, we had all kinds of politicians showing up to be at the karaoke night at the Bulldog.
Well, and I think that's really important is meeting people where they are, and some people that you wouldn't believe are interested in politics or maybe haven't voted in the past. Maybe they're at karaoke and they're having fun, and I think karaoke is the best experience ever because it doesn't matter if you can sing, it doesn't matter how you look, and it doesn't matter whether or not you know the words because it's on the screen. It's the only environment where I see that people come together for a common goal, which is singing, and I think that throughout our history, singing has been a way to renew past and sort of bring back storytelling from back in the day. And I think that it's a modern day version. Karaoke is a modern day version of people when they used to sit around the campfire and they used to sing songs and they used to tell stories.
That's actually very interesting.
Yeah, and I just,
it
it really is. And I've never in my life felt so accepted. When you walk in the door of a karaoke bar, everyone is there for the common goal of karaoke.
It's true.
And nobody laughs at you. Well, they do sometimes laugh at you, but it's all in good fun.
Right.
And I just find that there's not that sort of animosity that you find at other bars. People meet you where you're at. If you've never sung before, they try and goat you up on stage, and they support you through the process. And it's just a really great. I'm taking sociology, and from a sociological perspective, I think karaoke is a great way of looking at how people interact and come together. And
so that's it. The brand new standard of measuring anybody is if they
karaoke.
can hold their own in a karaoke bar, and they'll go there and do it. The person working the camera today said one day they would sing. So wow, on that one. Let's go to this one thing. Sort of jumping around a bit, but. Amy England, the person who you were telling me a story when we were during break, talked about you wanting someone trying to impeach you.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It was my first year as president, and I was making a lot of waves, and I was doing a lot of things that needed to get done. And when you step out there, you become a target, and that's just the realm of where it was at. There was an issue that had taken place, and there was a lot of confidential information that I couldn't reveal that was based around why I was being impeached, and I really felt firmly in the fact that I'm not going to break confidentiality and I'm going to protect the organization and protect students' interests from a lawsuit and all the things that come along when you break confidentiality. And I just stood in the midst of this.
In the gap, yeah, and you had to take the assault.
I had to take the assault, and the guy that tried to impeach me is actually my friend now, and we laugh about it. He ended up being a VP in my second term, and he was fantastic. And when we got on the same team and we were privy to the same information, we realized that our goals were not that far aligned from...
misaligned, you mean?
They weren't misaligned, and we were actually closer. To goals that we wanted to get to, like taking over the student center, which was a big deal. And across Ontario, a lot of student associations are taking that step to take control of their space. And when you pay into a fee, and you should have ownership over how that building's run.
How normally is it run now?
Right
or
now,
before that?
Before that, it was a fee that was collected by Durham College, and it was run through sort of a management board. But in governance, a lot of the times management boards don't do what they're supposed to. A lot of things got left sort of to the wayside. There was really great people in the positions where they were working, but the students didn't have the power to make changes when changes needed to be made. So I took that on as one of my major things, and that was aligning the student center underneath the student association and giving students the power to their own space and having the power to decide how their money's spent, where their money's going to go, and I think that's really important, and it's part of my core values. When I was the student association president, I didn't believe that I was making a salary. I believed that it was an honorarium based on what I gave out to the people, and every time if there was a student in need or if they needed money, I believed it was sort of like a communal. Like, I wouldn't have been in the position if they didn't pay their $95, and so they're directly my boss. And I truly believe the same thing on the municipal level. If I was to get into office, my salary is being provided by the taxpayers. And one of the things that I've really seen is there's a lot of seniors that are moving out of their homes. They've lived in their home their entire life. They've built it from the ground up. They've lived there 50 years, and they can't afford the taxes anymore, and they have to move into a small condominium, or they even have to move out of Oshawa. And to me, that's unacceptable. Our seniors are they were the lifeblood of our community. They built our community on their backs through working at GM, through working as taxi drivers, through basically everything that you could possibly think of. And now they're in a position where they need our help the most, and our taxes are too high for them to live in the community that they built up. And to me, that's why I'm running. I'm running to help those people. I'm running to help the young families that can't afford to buy a home. They have to save an extra 2 years because they can't afford the taxes, but they believe Oshawa is where they want to live. And they take that sacrifice and they work extra hard to ensure that they can pay those taxes. And so to me, when I make a decision, when I spend my money, I want to ensure that I'm spending it appropriately, because I got that off of the backs of those that are around me. And I think that's what a lot of people forget. I'm not entitled to that job. I'm only there as long as you want me there. And when you no longer want me, I will step back, just as I did at the Student Association and with other things, I think.
And in fact, the Student Association, you finally, after the second year that you weren't contested, you said, look, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
You forced someone to step up. We're going to go off the break. We come back and want to talk about local food initiatives and really how we can actually have sustainable local food. With some redirection and political posturing.
Yeah.
And when you said this to me, I can't believe I can't believe that the solution is so simple, and yet nobody's standing in the gap. Stay with us when Amy England and myself come back to find out a little bit more about this dynamic individual.